PDP State Congress in Zamfara disrupted by thugs. COVID-19 cases on the rise as NCDC calls for strict adherence to prevention protocols. And Yemen's Houthi rebels announced temporary resumption of UN flights in Gishiri. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Bala. Welcome to the program. Now, at least 8 people were killed and many others injured by bandits who invaded several communities in Gusau local government area of Zamfara state last Sunday. Reports say unspecified number of women and children were abducted by the bandits at different communities close to Gusau, the state capital. The affected communities are Geba, Zakwa, Gidankada, Gidankaura, among others. Meanwhile, reacting to the report, the State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara, however, admitted that the bandits attacked only one community and no death recorded from the attacks, while 3 persons were injured and security operatives have been deployed to the affected community to restore peace and order. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and NSCDC in Zamfara State on Monday intercepted 2 cattle rustling kingpins identified as Hussaini and Abubakar Altine at a motor park at Zamfara State Mass Transit in Gusau. State spokesman of the NSCDC, Ochiko, who disclosed this, said the suspects were arrested by the patrol team of the Corps alongside their brother on board a bus to Taraba State to link up with friends and some family members who had earlier traveled to the state. One of the suspects, Hussein Altine, who hails from Agamalafia village in Gusau local government area of the state, had participated in several cattle rustling activities in 4 villages where they killed at least 6 people. He said their meeting point is Gusami in Birni Magaji local government area of the state. Zamfara State Deputy Governor Mahadi Gusau has described as embarrassing, appalling and highly condemnable the invasion of the venue of the People's Democratic Party PDP State Congress by suspected political thugs. The Deputy Governor is reacting to the disruption of the State Party Congress, which forced delegates to relocate to a military facility to conduct the election. The report.
The State Congress of the People Democratic Party PDP in Zamfara State had earlier suffered a setback because suspected political thugs stormed the venue of the exercise, destroying materials including vehicle. This development did not deter the PDP stalwarts and delegates from holding the State Congress of the party as scheduled as they relocated to the Command Guest Inn where it conducted the exercise. The leader of the party in Zamfara State, who is the Deputy Governor, Mahadi Gusau, is not pleased with the development but said with the successful election of new executives of the PDP in the state, the party is now poised to play its leading role as a major opposition political party to ensure the government deliver on the promises made to the people of the state.
I think I'm very surprised because as you recall, this year, June 29th, His Excellency Dr. Bala left to PDP for APC. And in one of his remarks and statements, he's always bragged about PDP being empty. PDP has taken all the ESCO members, everybody has followed him. A lot of the senators and former ministers, all of them went on board. And he left me, the Deputy Governor, with only a few people, and we're able to rebuild the party from the ground up. I'm surprised and appalled by the reaction that I saw today. I heard that about 50 thugs came with machetes and burnt the location where we're about to have our state congress. And this location is actually a private residence. So I don't know how we're supposed to feel safe in Gusau metropolis, and if this is the kind of security we can expect from the city of Gusau. I wonder what the people are experiencing in the rural areas. So I think this is a big issue that I think His Excellency, I'm calling out to him to come and apologize or point out the people who are responsible for these atrocities. If not, we hold him complicit in this act, and it will not be taken, because I think internationally everyone needs to know that Zamfara is not allowed to have opposition, which is mind-boggling. I'm surprised. If I'm just a deputy governor and I'm able to organize this, why are you threatened? I'm highly actually embarrassed at some point.
The newly elected state chairman of the party, formerly chief of staff to the incumbent governor of Zamfara State, Bala Bala Mande, promised to carry all stakeholders of the PDP along to ensure unity, peace, and strong political party to rescue people of the state.
So that even members of the other party will admire our focus, our unity and strength, and will be lured by our works to join our party. And we leave our party with open doors. They are welcome.
About 1,187 delegates participated in Zamfara State Congress of the party, conducted in the presence of security agencies, representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), and journalists.
So from that part of the country, chapter of the All Progressive Congress loyal to the former governor of the state, Abdulaziz Yeri, has distanced itself from the alleged invasion of the venue of the People's Democratic Party State Congress, describing the act as dastardly, undemocratic, uncivilized and barbaric in the 21st century. This is contained in a statement issued by the chairman of the Publicity Committee of the APC loyal to Yeri, Ibrahim Magaji. The statement said the faction under its chairman, Lawal Liman, condemned the act and also called on the police to launch full-scale investigation into the incident to punish the perpetrators. Similarly, the APC loyal to Senator Kabiru Marafa described the attack as undemocratic against opposition party. In a statement issued by the publicity secretary of the faction, Bello Bakiasua, said it is on record that Senator Marafa is an advocate of rule of law and the principle of live and let others live, from the testimonies of his uncountable public engagement as a senator of the Republic of Nigeria and the leading figure of APC in Zamfara State. Similarly, governors under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum have been accused of being behind the political crisis in both the ruling party and the country at large. A member of the Kwara State House of Assembly, Said Papola, said this while addressing journalists in Ilorin on the state of the nation. According to him, the governors are the chief instigators of party crisis in their respective states and further frustrating efforts at granting autonomy to both local government and state assemblies, despite President Muhammadu Buhari signing Executive Order 10, allowing for autonomy to relevant tiers of governance.
I hope you are listening to me. Yeah. That the Governors Forum is the basis of our problem in this country. Give the autonomy to the House of Assembly. They said no. A law has been passed. The president has signed. The president now to say, okay, Order 10, Executive Order 10 should be implemented so that the autonomy of the House of Assembly and Judiciary can be implemented. The governor said no for the past 2 years. And it's not happening. Look at just the electoral bill that was supposed to be signed into law. Our almighty governor said no. You can see what has just happened to our party in Anambra. And I said it when they were concocting figures that Andy Uba won election. I know of my friend George Mogalu who contested the election. They didn't even see the material for election, and you were declaring somebody that he has over 240-something thousand votes. When the real election came, where was the 240,000 votes? And the court now said even APC did not participate in that election. This is the work of these our almighty governors. I think they have hijacked the party and they have put the party on the path on a path of sliding.
Now, 2021 will go down as a politically eventful year, though the year did not record any extraordinary political event apart from President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to sign Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed by the National Assembly into law. Some political observers have been reflecting on the major developments that shaped the outgoing year. A cross-section who spoke exclusively to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman explained why the outgoing year remained outstanding in the nation's political history. His report.
From high-profile defections of two serving governors to leadership change in the two major political parties in the much talked about Anambra election. One recurring happening that cannot be easily forgotten is the deteriorating security situation fueled by activities of armed groups such as ISWAP Boko Haram in the northeast, bandits and kidnappers in the northwest and north central, IPOB in the southeast amongst others.
The intractable and seemingly worsening specter of insecurity. If there is any man up there, I think the bandit is the man of their 2021. Particularly in the northwest Nigeria, the bandit has been in charge. All attempts to tame the bandits has failed. They have been operating with impunity. The Nigerian state appears to be confused, if not helpless, on how to tame the bandits. There has been outbreak virtually every day in several parts of the country, and with attendant loss in terms of life and property. They have been operating almost without any fear, freely negotiating for ransom.
High-profile corruption revelations uncovered by a network of investigative journalists, in addition to one that led to the sack of the nation's anti-corruption Caesar Ibrahim Magu, whose case, some say, might have been swept under the carpet. The judicial arm of government also witnessed unprecedented ups and downs, including occasional scandals such as invasion of Justice Mary Odele's home, conflicting judgments, and the conviction and sentence of ex-chairman Pension Reform Task Force Abdurrashid Maina.
Partial or landmark point has to do with the judgment given to him, which turned out to be a mockery of sanctions regarding penalties of such magnitude. People really expected something serious, but it turned out to be a paltry judgment with even this directive that he should start concurrently beginning from the period of his initial arrest. And at the end of it, you will discover that out of the, I think it's 6 years something, he will only serve the remaining 2 years. And he came out smiling, laughing, cheering people because he was satisfied with the paltry judgment given, which was even lesser than the judgment given to his son, who is an accused person under the main umbrella of Rashid Mena.
From the legislative front comes the passage of very topical bills, such as the decade-old Petroleum Industry Bill, now an Act of Parliament, Financial Bill 2021, and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, still in limbo, having been rejected by the President, and the failure of the National Assembly to override the President.
The Electoral Act Amendment came with about 18 components. The members of the press, the fourth step of the realm, concentrated attention on only 2 articles there. The issue of direct primaries and the issue of electronic transmission of results. Agreed they are germane because a greater number of electoral fraud is being perpetrated at the level of collation down to the level of announcement of results. So electronic transmission will be a panacea to that misnomer. Then the issue of direct primaries will bankroll democracy back to the citizenry.
But the reality is, it appears to me that a large section, if not the majority section of the Nigerian ruling elite, do not want that amendment. And for purely selfish interest, because it has always served them.
The year under review also saw political alignment and realignment towards 2023 elections.
We've seen alignment and realignment of forces, and these are going to continue. And we've also seen, where in some cases, some of these realignment of forces have not been resolved really, because, at the moment, the parties themselves are in a state of flux. We don't know what's going to happen, and then they have not been able to actually come together in terms of aligning themselves to deciding what they should do.
With high-profile visits to a supposed national leader of the APC, Bala Ahmed Tinubu, in London by President Muhammadu Buhari, National Assembly leadership amongst others, heralding early permutations ahead of the elections. Shafir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. Celebration still ongoing in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update, our top stories. At least 8 people were killed and many others injured by bandits who invaded several communities in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State last Sunday. And Zamfara State Deputy Governor Mahadi Gusau has described as embarrassing, appalling and highly condemnable the invasion of the venue of the People's Democratic Party State Congress by suspected political thugs. Still ahead, Nigeria on Monday recorded 2 additional deaths and 859 fresh cases across 13 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control stated this in an update shared on its Facebook page on Tuesday morning. According to the center, the new cases have increased Nigeria's infection toll to over 200,000, while the fatality toll now stands at over 3,000. The latest data shows that Lagos State, the epicenter of the disease, reported more than half of the new infections with 555 cases. As of Sunday, the number of active cases have increased to over 21,000 as a result of the surge in infections, while the latest data shows a total of over 200,000 people have been successfully treated and discharged across the country. Water supply in Federal Capital Territory Abuja is not adequate enough to cover all districts and satellite towns. One of such towns that experienced water supply shortage is Gishiri. Residents of Gishiri, a suburb in the Federal Capital Territory, complain of water scarcity and increased price from water vendors. Trust TV's Nafisa Abdul visits the suburb to check on how the residents cope with the situation.
This is Gishiri, a suburb in the FCT, just a trackable distance away from Maitama district. This community lacks one of the most basic social amenities, water.
Really, we have been having that water challenges for a very long time for now. We always have the water just temporary. Like my house, I have a tap in my house, but it's not always that I see water. Sometimes it will take me 2-3 months before I will see water once in a while. But since it's a local vendor, I don't bother much. But from government, we are not achieving anything in this community. Primary health care, we don't have it. The only one primary health care we have here is not working. About 2 years ago, my wife lost her baby. Why? Because we don't have a standard medical care in this vicinity here. Where I went for antenatal and other things, we didn't get anything reasonable. So that's why I end up losing my child. Those are 2 things. Even the road, if you check as you are coming into this community, there's no road. In fact, I've been in this community for over 15 years and I didn't see any government impact in this community. The only time we see them is when they are coming for election.
Yesterday, the last month for that Gishiri road community, that 2 days no water. Because that road, that one motor wants cut to this pipe for this road. That 8 people on that road, you will see water that's cut for this area. That sometimes, if it today's water, to next 2 days, you will see water again.
I see the condition of the road. Sometimes vehicles, when they are passing by and then with all those pipes, sometimes they're getting damaged. Like the other time now, they just walk on this road. They try to fix the road and the bulldozer they brought, all those, so they just scratch all the pipes and then people have problem that time.
We don't usually get water during the daytime. They bring water at night when people have already gone to bed. And people are forced to buy water the next day from Mirua. And that is, I think that is very, very bad. People pay for water, they pay for something they cannot make use of. And aside that, we have too many challenges in this community. Again, our lights here, we share lights, in the sense that some people will have today, others will not have, and the next day they will bring for other people, and then we have to pay the same amount we have been paying.
This business is not an easy one, because when there is water scarcity, we all suffer from it. We have to go to Mabushi and Jahi to fetch water. As a result, we have to increase the price of the water.
Apart from the obvious water scarcity, this community faces a whole lot of other challenges, such as epileptic power supply, hike in electricity tariff, bad roads, security challenges, and the overall filthy condition of the environment. Nafisa Abdel-Al, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now to Yuletide. Public holidays approved by the federal government for Nigerians to celebrate the Yuletide may have freed roads from the usual traffic gridlock in Abuja. But commercial vehicle drivers are not happy with low patronage during the period. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu, however, reports that other road users are happy with the free flow of traffic.
Most of the roads in the FCT are usually busy, especially on a weekday, where residents are always in a rush to their place of businesses and work. But the situation here in the popular Berger Junction is different, as most residents have traveled home for the Yuletide.
The traffic situation today is more better. There's no traffic, everywhere is free. You can look on the road, no people, everybody have traveled, so the road is free. The road safety people, they are trying their best with the road marshal. We will not see VIO on the road, but the road marshals on the road, they are controlling the traffic. Like me, myself, I run from here to Maraba. Normally on working day, I don't reach Maraba because of the go-slow. But today, you can reach Maraba, reach Masaka, no go-slow, the road is free.
The traffic situation in Abuja right now, within the Berger Junction area of Abuja, is very free. The road is very, very much free. Compared to what usually happen in a daily basis, within working days, route here usually very busy, tough all the days. But today, everybody is flowing very well. It's because of the holiday period, the Christmas holiday period. Many persons have traveled. Even those who did not travel because of one reason or the other are sitting back at home having their Christmas Eve.
It were not because of the celebration on now. Hey, everywhere would have been jam-packed with traffic. But on a serious note, the celebration of this nature is always something that creates a very clear space on roads.
We will not have passengers to carry us into it will affect us, we the transporters. We that drive on, we that run Abuja. We that run Abuja Fair, it will not favor us. It's only those ones that go interstate that to favor them.
The traffic situation now is more better than other days, because we don't have much hold up on the road. And I appreciate the work of road safety, civil defense, and the road marshals. They are coordinating, they are controlling the traffic. Like Maraba bus stop, they used to have a congestion there. This time, they are controlling that place. If you come, you go freely, no interruption on the road.
Now it is car that was stopping for this election. You can't be struggling for car these days now. It's empty, it's not choking like before.
What about the cost of transportation?
The cost of transportation is lesser now. It's lesser because of there is no more passengers on the road. It's lesser.
The roads are obviously deserted because people are still on holidays. However, these drivers cannot wait to have them back just so business continues as usual. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Christmas season is a time when most Christians celebrate a monumental event in their religion, the birth of Jesus Christ. This is usually accompanied by festivities that last for days, often until the New Year, which is seen as part of the Christmas festive season. Chijoke Okafor looks at celebrations across recreational centers 2 days after Christmas.
Red hearts, balloons, games, lots of food and drinks. This is the spirit of the Christmas season. Even days after 25th December, the festivities don't seem to be slowing down, as people still converge in large numbers in parks and recreational centers to spend fun time with family and friends. Some say Christmas isn't just supposed to be celebrated in one day and forgotten. Instead, the love and togetherness that comes with the season should last longer than the actual day.
Unity is the most thing that people need at a time like this. We need to unite, we need to make friends, we need to love one another, because love is the only thing that brings people together.
Both the young and elderly, everyone shares in this special period in the lives of Christians, as it affords them the opportunity to take down barriers and connect on the same level. Through everyone's lives, the message remains the same: spreading love this season.
We are here to celebrate. This is the only time we really have time to come together. We meet friends, families that we have not met before. So I'm excited, I'm very happy.
The Christmas period comes with enormous advantages for vendors too, especially for people like John, who runs a POS stand. He says during times like this, he makes up to 4 times his usual earnings in a day.
To me, it's a boom to my own business. It's not like as usual, that is like other days. It's manageable. There's not much gain, no much profit in other days. But let me say from Thursday, Friday, Saturday to today, it's a boom for me. So everything is not just triple. Let me say it's 4 times the gain.
The festivities continue as most people look forward to the New Year's Day for another big celebration. Chijoke Okafo, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And on the international scene, Yemen's Houthi rebels say they have allowed the temporary resumption of United Nations flights into the airport in the capital, Sana'a, a week after a halt due to Saudi-led coalition air raids. Rebel-run Al Masira Television Tuesday announced the resumption of UN and other organization flights into Sana'a airport on a temporary basis. Meanwhile, the Houthis are accusing the Saudi-led coalition of preventing the entry of communication and navigation devices into Sana'a airport to replace the old ones. Yemen has been mired in conflict since 2014 when the Houthis seized much of the northern part of the country, including Sana'a, as the government fled. And that's it on news updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Bala. Thanks for your time and company.